Give folks a couple minutes to trickle in here. Oh yeah, I should also do the going live tweet just a minute here. Great. Hello. Welcome. Just doing a quick doodle before I get into the thick of things here. Hope you all been doing well today. Fortunately, it hasn't been too bad over here with the snowstorm. Been pretty, how do I say, pretty much a non-event over in my neck of the United States. I have been hearing that people have been getting dug out over in the East Coast. So that's been quite interesting to see. Hope people are staying safe out there though. Kind of can't wait for the winter to be pretty much over. But as usual, this part of the country is just like winter doesn't actually start until February, March, and when that happens is usually just the icky slush that we get. So it's been quite the experience. I'm just glad that I didn't have to shovel a ton this year. But yeah, as you can probably guess, today is gonna be a fair bit of cooking. Unfortunately, not the neural sense. So, but what I do have planned is the sticker sheets. I do plan to do a lot of sticker sheets in the next couple of weeks. I think it is about 4 to 5 weeks before the show on February 28th. And so I'm looking to get about 14 sticker sheets done by then. That way I can fill up one of those acrylic racks I have. So it'll be like two to a side. And the kind that I bought is one of those 7-tier things. So this be like yeah, just like that. 7 times. So I'm doing that, and I'm gonna keep them all pretty food themed, but it's a good exercise for me to do this today. The one, actually get some experience doing sticker sheets, and two, um, just kind of manage my own expectations about how much am I realistically gonna produce, because that's always a concern as a artist that's also running a business with the day job on top of that, is how much energy, how much effort, how efficient can I actually be doing all of this. And so I just want to make sure I'm setting the proper expectations for myself. And speaking of expectations, I did apply for another show just recently, and depending on how that one goes, in terms of the application process, I should find out relatively soon if I'm in or not. But it is a show that will be happening on March 13th through the 15th. So this will be the first like actual convention of the year. The thing I got going on in February is just a craft fair. So it's a single day event. It is going to be to the gills with normies. So I got to make sure what I'm putting out is going to appeal to that audience as well. But this one is like a Comic-Con. So again, it's a different audience, one that might be a little bit more in alignment with fantasy ideas, and more of an anime style, but maybe not too much compared to a traditional anime convention. So that's one of the goals this year, is really spread my wings and figure out what kind of audience would work the best for me. In the meantime, if you follow me for my VTuber related content, I did make a keychain design recently. So that's her right here. I haven't put together a alternative. Excuse me. Boy. Give me a second. Okay, hopefully my throat won't close up like that again. It's been pretty dry over here. Just give myself some water. But yeah, this is a VTuber minutes, and she is a independent. She does a lot of ASMR type of content. She is wonderful. You should check her out. I don't have her link handy, but the kind of stuff that she does is like boomer shooters, kind of like Doom. board, terrible games, ASMR type of content. She does also do like talking content every now and then, just kind of like what I'm doing here, minus the art, of course. But I've known her for a couple of years now, so it's uh it's been nice, and I am still waiting to hear back about whether or not I'm gonna have a table at the Opkai, and I should be expecting information on that in February. So crossing my fingers here. I'm planning to do more of these in the near term, especially after I find out if I got into Opkai or not. So I'll be turning those into keychains, and then I have other things planned, but now is not exactly the time for that. Alrighty, let's get back into the swing of things here. So I unfortunately did not get any responses to my post earlier about what people wanted to see, so I just took the oh boy, apologies if you can hear that. There's quite a bit of activity going on outside. None of it involves me, but yeah, just ambulances and that kind of stuff. Must have been slippery conditions further down in town. So I just took the liberty of picking 2 items for today. Probably won't get through them all, but I wanted to at least show my process a little bit here, and properly this time around. As I'm still figuring out the streaming thing, and just like how much time can I actively be producing during a stream versus talking. And so the balancing act here. And part of my process is I'll just come up with the overall concept, and I might scoot my profile out of the way here. So over here on this side, I love my planning to come up with the overall idea. So over here I have a fantasy tavern style sticker sheet in mind, and what I'm thinking there is just an assortment of things that you might see coming out of a fantasy tavern. For example, we got mana potion, health potion, dragon steaks, wyvern wings, cockatrice eggs, cheese boards, those kind of things. So, like I mentioned, it's a challenge of sorts to figure out how much detail do I want to invest in a sticker sheet versus a regular illustration, and balancing all of that. Get a drink here. Good old water. Got a mug over here on the side. It's a simple metal flask, or I guess that might not be the right word, but like a flagon, I think it is. But yeah, the kind you go cheers with in a tavern. Figure I do a little bit of real immersion here. So after I got a general sense of what do I want to do for the individual items, I said I'm gonna try to stick to about 9 pieces, and that's gonna be probably 3 like bigger pieces, 3 kind of medium size, and then 3 smaller. And so this will be a substitute for the normal warm-up. So the mana potion here, I'm thinking it's gonna be like kind of a small size item. And I've already gone ahead and just pulled up a bunch of references. And references for me is typically about the color as opposed to the actual design itself. So like the nice red of the steak, the charring, the brown of the meat. So this is what I had in mind for the health potion. And then this for the mana potion. Alrighty. Get the folder open here. And so what I do with these references, I will usually just sample the colors in different areas and build up a palette. So like this dark blue right here. This kind of lighter blue. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it relatively simple. Sometimes while I'm drawing from the references, I will kind of draw what I'm actually referencing here. And so that way I get a general sense of what am I drawing with this. So for this here, just draw the chariot as is, add some detail. Add a little bit more. Then just do a couple of individual little palettes. Wow, my throat is not having a good time today. Let's keep going. just sampling a little bit of the glass because I'm gonna have to draw the bottle itself as well. Alrighty. So I got my color palette over here, and I can then just start sketching out the idea. And I know I'm kind of a broken record on this front, but if if you have any questions about the process, about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, feel free to ask. And this applies to both the live viewers and the VOD viewers. If you missed the last stream, I usually post the VODs on the following Friday, so you can just catch up at your pleasure. So the question I have for myself here is, do I want to be like a standard chemistry flask, or do I just want to make it a more traditional fantasy ocean bottle? And I'm thinking, no, let's not do that, because the whole concept is fantasy tavern. So what would I do if I were a tavern keeper and I wanted to serve the adventurers a mana potion, but it would come with the actual meal? Excuse me once again. I'm thinking I could do it in a flask. I could do it in a regular glass. There's the potion bottle. While the flask, the flagon is a nice idea, I'm worried that it doesn't immediately read as a mana potion. Could do a glass, but again, does it really read as something? So maybe something just kind of in between these two here. I'm thinking about like those specialty glasswares that people buy, especially older people. They have like the decorated patterns on the outside. Make this a little bit bigger here. Mm. Mm. Just give it a little bit of layer. So maybe have a lid over here on the side. Actually, note that kind of looks like a baby bottle. Just build up a little bit of cream or ice cream. Just make it a bit of a experience versus just a bog standard. Keep it simple. When I draw like for reals, I usually like to work on the colors and then um line them in later, as opposed to doing yet another like line art layer on top of this sketch. Give a little extra flavor to it. And yeah, the proper way to actually do this would have probably been to do like the lightest and then work the way down, but I want to leave some room for blending. One of my favorite things to do with coloring is the lasso tool. Just make a bunch of little squiggles just to add some texture versus using the vivid what's the word I'm looking for? Like a droplet brush type of thing. Feels like it just gives for more interesting shapes. I might actually do the lemon on a different layer, just so I can blend it in later. And the texturing pen that I got here is kind of my blender. It's a brush that is actually supposed to be set to a little bit lower, like so. But then I just sample and start blending stuff together. This is actually kind of a new style that I'm thinking about trying for this year. It's a little bit more painterly for food stuff. And then I can leave a more solid cell shading style for the more collab cafe type of characters, like the VTuber stuff. Because yeah, you could do cell shaded things with food. I just don't think it does a great service to the design, um, or my vision anyway, to do so. So I'm just trying out different things, see if that will work for what I'm looking to do. I'm just adding a small amount of, I think they call it specular lighting onto it. Just that way it gives the feeling of wetness to the cherry. And also implies a little bit more texture. Alright, I think I'm happy enough with this. Um, it is unfortunately quite the time investment, so we'll just have to keep going here. for this one. I'm kind of thinking of something in between Crown Royal, Maker's Mark, but I don't want to go too heavy on the alcohol shape, and so I'm thinking kind of a heart-shaped overall drink. Yeah, to try to keep it relatively simple. start to hint at in here. But for something like this, it probably will have to be like ice flakes. Mm. Making them little spears. Almost like a raspberry and a playing around with the idea for um to make some tassels. Part of the reason why I'm doing these at 900 by 900 pixels is because it's 300 DPI times 3. So if I were to export this out for printing purposes, it'll be um it'll be approximately 3 inches for the die cut stickers. And then it's always better to scale down than it is to scale up when it comes to these designs. That way you preserve a little bit more of a quality. Yeah, I'm gonna use a little bit of liquify magic here. To straighten this out. Gonna get a bigger streak of light. And a ginger blue. and a little bit of blended gray. I think that's pretty good. Obvious imperfections aside, like this, it'll do. Oh, okay, it's already out on its own layer. So it's already been a bit over an hour, and I, unfortunately, because my throat's been acting up today in particular, I am gonna call it here. And yeah, I got 2 of them out of 9 done. Not great, but new subject, new art style, streaming. Yeah, it's gonna be slower process. So I will try to post the finalized designs a little bit more closer to February, so you guys can see what it looks like when it's fully done. But yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you for coming by, and I hope this was either educational or a little bit of fun to have in the background. See you next time.